News Bulletin from Power 102 Digital. It is Wednesday, 31st January 2024. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. This is news to 6 a.m. on News Power Digital. The United States has reimposed sanctions on Venezuela following a ruling by the Venezuelan Supreme Court to uphold a 15-year ban on main opposition candidate Maria Corina Machado from the presidential election scheduled for this year. In October of 2023, the U.S. loosened its sanctions against Venezuela under the Barbados Agreement, where President Nicolas Maduro committed to free and fair presidential elections, among other things. The agreement is separate from the Dragon deal between Trinidad and Tobago and Venezuela. The U.S. Department of State spokesman Matthew Miller issued a statement yesterday and said that the actions of Maduro and his representatives, including the arrests of members of the Democratic opposition and barring candidates from competing in this year's presidential election, were inconsistent with the agreement signed in Barbados last October. Miller noted its support for the Barbados Agreement. The U.S. issued General License 44, which provides relief to Venezuela's oil and gas sector. Meanwhile, Venezuelan ambassador to Trinidad Tobago Alvaro Enrique Sanchez Cordero told news media yesterday that unlike the OFAC licenses, the OFAC Dragon license stands for 2 years. He noted Minister Young's statements where he indicated OFAC license granted to Trinidad and Tobago will run for a period of 2 years until October 2025 and allows for payments in fiat currency, US dollars, bolivares, via humanitarian aid. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley and Minister Young have been in the U.S. holding talks with officials, including U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken. Trinidad and Tobago scored 42 out of 100 and is ranked 76, according to the latest Corruption Perception Index launched Tuesday by the TNT Transparency Institute under the theme Corruption and Injustice. TNT joins over two-thirds of the country scoring below 50 in the 100 of the 2023 results of the CPI. Territories that scored on a scale highly corrupt to 100 very clean. Barbados tops the list for regional countries with a score of 69 and is ranked 24th. Bahamas followed with 64, ranked 30th, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines placed third with a score of 60 and a ranking of 36. The TTTI says although this country's position has not declined in the recent report, neither has there been any improvement. It says TNT must be mindful that the perceived levels of corruption is still very high, and there appears to be an inability or lack of effort and interest on the part of public officials to tackle corruption. Since its inception in 1995, the Corruption Perception Index has become the leading global indicator of public sector corruption, which scores 180 countries and territories around the world based on perceived levels of public sector corruption. And in an effort to combat corruption, the TTTI calls for an independent and strong judiciary, one which has the public trust and can be impartial in dealing with any matter. It also called on support and passage and implementation of Whistleblower Protection Bill, which next laid in the Parliament for the protection of witnesses and victims of corruption. It also publicly called for campaign finance legislation to be brought to the Parliament, proclaimed and enforced as promised before the next general elections. Contractors must face the courts, said Attorney General Reginald Amor Senior Counsel, as he commented on the appeal court's ring out on Tuesday, a case by several contracting companies which sought to have the $400 million cartel claim filed against them by the Estate Management Business Development Company, EMBD, dismissed. He said the ruling means the contracting companies must now defend themselves in the High Court. The case has been ordered to continue after the Court of Appeal dismissed an appeal against the judge's refusal to throw out the EMBD's lawsuit on grounds that the EMBD, did not give particulars relating to the allegations raised. In a statement yesterday, Amos said the group of contractors succeeded. If they succeeded, they would have not been required to give evidence in the trial. Now, he said, they'll have to take the witness stand and face cross-examination. The contractors, as well as several others named in the claim, including former Government Minister Dr. Rudal Munilal, have been ordered to file their defenses by March 20th. The Joint Select Committee on National Security will conduct a follow-up inquiry with officials of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, including Commissioner Early Harewood Christopher, today, Wednesday. At 2:30 today, the public meeting in the Linda Babulal meeting room, ground floor parliamentary complex. The meeting will take place. The GSC said this is being done to understand the anti-crime strategies implemented and are being implemented to address criminal activity in Trinidad and Tobago. And finally, former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan has been sentenced to 10 years in jail in a case in which he was charged with leaking state secrets. Khan, who was ousted by his opponents as Prime Minister in 2022, is already serving a 3-year jail term after being convicted of corruption. He has called all the charges against him politically motivated. And that is news to 6 a.m. right here on News Power Digital. We have major news coming your way at 7 a.m. Good morning.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
That's what it is. It is Hump Day Wednesday. Good morning, neighbors. 8 minutes after the hour, 6 o'clock on this, the last day of January. Yep, 31st day of January. It is the last day. Tomorrow will be Rabbit. And for those celebrating their birthday on the 29th of February, yeah, you'll probably be 4 years old. All right. So good morning to you. Of course, on the show this morning, you just heard from Paul Richards. We'll hear from Wendell Stephen. We got Ruben. We've got Shade in the mix. My name is Steve Khan. Getting straight into it. Let's see who sent us hellos first thing this morning. We got a new one. Min Shadow. Good morning to you. DJ Ray out in Tampa. Wendy and James. Anthony Tinto out in Ontario, Canada. Trinity in Boston. Good morning. Godsili in Valencia. Wayne B in Covington, Georgia, but he's checking in from Trin City. So welcome, Wayne B, to the land of dust. I'll get into that in a second. Rena Boodoo Jennings, good morning. CJ New York. Carol Joseph. Yen Akam, I think that's how you pronounce it. Carol Guevara. Ray out in West Palm Beach, Florida. Brennan Smith, that's Beefy Smith, just back from his 3-mile walk out in Goodwood, Tobago. Brenda Isaac, John Cato, Mrs. R is up early. Gloria Gray, good morning to you. Let's check who sent us hellos via WhatsApp. Just snuck in. Dan Raj, good morning. Michael across the pond in that island they call England. Good morning to you. Sankofa, good morning as well. 25 degrees at Piarco International Airport. It is 27 at Crown Point in Tobago. And I will tell you, I'm feeling it already. As soon as I woke up this morning, I'm feeling it. We've got some dust. It's going to be pretty bad today. As of 5 a.m., air quality levels between moderate and unhealthy for sensitive groups. Concentrations are still increasing based on the latest data, and air quality may reach unhealthy levels today across Trinidad. All right? Well, across TNT, put it that way. I saw the map for it. It's a lot of dust. It's heavy. All right? Trigwise, a free port up towards the interchange. East-West corridor from Piarco to UV is not too bad getting a Port of Spain. Good morning to you, Paul Richards.
Morning, Steve. Morning, everyone. Good Wednesday morning.
Morning, Paolo. Yeah, morning.
What's happening?
I'm feeling that dust. As soon as I woke up this morning, I'm feeling that dust.
Okay.
It's going to be horrible today and for the next couple of days. Good morning to my good friend Patos. Good morning to you. Yeah.
Morning, Wendell.
Hi, good morning, guys. My apologies for logging in a little late. I was doing something else online for the while. And I think what you sent me this morning, Paul, was that from Twitter?
Yes.
Because I got a security alert coming up that they notice an unusual login on Twitter. Is it because of the tune you sent me?
No.
You should have started off the morning with that tune.
I wonder if that's permissible.
Why not?
Yeah, all right, I'll download it.
I enjoyed it.
It's quite hilarious.
Yeah?
It's quite hilarious.
Yeah, it is. It is. Is
The
that
lengths he wrote.
that's
the
not
lengths-
Rafi B. What's his name again? What's his name again?
That's the guy from the Lenadan, is it?
Dylan Adan. This Dylan
Is it
Adan,
him?
right? Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I know it's
I think
Rupert
that's
T.
Dylan Adan.
The lengths they go to say something smutty, to not say something smutty, is astounding to me.
Yeah. But it's always clever double entendre. It's always
Well, dying to double, you know.
well. Is that also what's her name? Oh goodness.
Rupert T.
Jupati, right? It's Jupati, right?
Yes, it's Rupert T.
Yeah.
I have no clue what you're all talking about.
A song I
Oh.
sent to the guys this morning. Steve, calm down.
I'm not one of the guys. Okay.
No,
I'm
no,
not-
that's not Raymond M9. It's not.
It's not.
No,
Okay. But it's definitely Jupati Ramgunai.
it is Rupert T. But I'll play it in a short while.
Yeah. All right. But I have some birthdays today. Let me get them out of the way. Did I say good morning to everybody else? I don't think I did. But good morning to our listeners and viewers all over the globe. And one of our special listeners and participants in our polls and everything else, his birthday is today. Brian Marcel. Brian, can I dare say what you used to do in life? I can't.
Go ahead,
I
man.
can't-
Go ahead.
I can if he gives me permission, I'll tell people what Brian did in life. But he was a very hard-working person, one of the honest, dedicated ones. I'll say that much until he tells me go.
Mm.
Go ahead. Also, Sherilyn Lewis. I think she works at TTT.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, she's celebrating her birthday today. Farai Hove Masaisai, an attorney at law, former city councillor too. His birthday is also today. Jocelyn Louise Deyalsing, she's also a regular person on Facebook. Darren Scobie, also celebrating birthdays today. And today is the anniversary of one of our ardent fans and listeners. He goes by the name of Derek Tomasas. He and his wife, Shelley Donna Marie Tomasas, they are celebrating their 9th anniversary today. They're from Arima. He goes by the AKA as Kush. That's his nickname. But I don't know why we ever call him Kush, because I don't think he smokes. You know?
Maybe,
But
maybe you don't know.
anyway, Kush and his wife Shelly, they are celebrating their 9th anniversary today. And Shelly, if you're listening, Kush messaged me whole yesterday and whole this morning to ensure that I get his greeting, because he said he loves you. You're the best thing that ever happened to him.
Oh,
And he was just melting all over my phone.
Oh,
My phone was literally melting in my hand with the love this man have for you, Shelly.
that is so beautiful.
I don't know what you're doing, but he loves
Kush, give Wendell the secret.
you.
Share the secret with Wendell, Kush.
Yeah,
yeah.
I might very well want to try it again.
See,
You heard it first here, folks.
the vast change from before, you know.
Yeah, boy. A vast change from last week.
Me and married life, again, you have to be crazy. I have to be crazy.
Never say never.
Well, you know, my first wife has passed away, as you all know, and my second wife is still around. So if I have to marry again, I won't be looking for a third wife.
You can be married when they marry a second wife.
Well, that's what I said. I think that's what I hinted there.
Steve Boy?
That's the only
Steve Boy?
that's the only
Look at this.
that's the only miracle that will come about in my life again.
Steve Boy?
Somebody called 999.
Somebody called police. Steve, he put out a petition, you know, I want to marry you again.
Yeah, boy.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No,
That's what I got from it.
Well, good for you. Good for you.
I'm open to marrying you again.
Is today the last day of January?
Such was the impact
Yeah.
it's had.
Okay.
Yes, it is. The 31st is usually the last day of any month, or the 30th.
Oh,
Or in
good.
the case of February 28th and 29th.
After today, I had to hit the highway too. until somebody bless me. Bus
Oh,
route passes expire today.
bus route passes expire. I think they've been extended by another month.
I haven't heard that, you know.
I was told so, but I haven't.
I've been on the bus route. They gotta tell me otherwise.
You have a
Man,
permanent pass.
you have an MP, brother. You are MP, you know. You are a member of parliament. You could get away. And them fellas and them who stressed me out the last time, they was just waiting.
They're waiting for you. Oh, yeah. What talk about we? All right.
They're waiting
I'll call the powers that be shortly.
Yeah, because I haven't seen any notice that it has been extended. So I'm not gonna take that chance.
Your man, they're waiting for you.
You know, but I actually drove a lot on the highway yesterday because I went to Arangwes. I finally got those shoe racks that I was looking for. I went to ABC. That place is huge.
Yeah. Past by the Pet Butler. What's wrong with you?
But are you in the bag there?
No, on the other side.
Okay. But that place is huge and they have lots of stuff there. And I got some very nice racks there because I don't want those racks where it's an actual shelf where it collects dust now. I want the wired ones, but not plastic. Actual wired ones. And I got them there.
Wendell, I want your perspective on the ruling against Coker.
Whilst, all right, let me put out this notice immediately, right? And I think I would have spoken about this on radio. I took someone to court for defamation already, right?
There you go.
My business. I did it, and I was successful. As a matter of fact, my judgment was in the same figure, right? But that was quite a while back, right? However, I respect the art form, Calypso art form, and what it has been known for over the several years. And this is not only now start where people get their name called in all manner of things in Calypso, right? We have had it with former prime ministers, till one of them say, Lady J. Asbury, or did he say that in reference to the Guardian newspaper? I can't remember. But anyway, he used to switch off. He was known for switching off his headphones. George Chambers, I don't know that he ever responded. Ian R. Robinson, I don't know that he ever responded. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, I don't know that she ever responded. I don't know that any prime minister who has been sung about has ever responded. Certainly ministers have been sung about. Pamela Nicholson, to me, got the worst of it back then. So we have had that history in Calypso art form because people accept it as an art form. I honestly didn't see anything wrong with Crocro's song when he sang about and hinted that it was about Inch and Ishmael. I didn't see anything wrong about it. You understand? But it's Inchan's right, nonetheless, to take it to court if he felt that he was defamed. He took it to court and he won. My problem, though, and I hope I don't get it, is some of the comments, personalized comments being made by a judge as to why he came to the decision he made. That, I thought, may be grounds for appeal, and I'm sure that it will and should be appealed, especially based on those personalized comments that came out of that, right? So I'll wait and see where it goes. I won't say anything much more. I was very much disappointed, though, in the head of Tuco saying the things he did because maybe he doesn't really have a history in Calypso. You understand? Or maybe he hasn't studied the history of Calypso enough to say the things that he would have said.
What I got, and this is my perspective, subjective perspective, is there seems that there may have been growth. You see that Tuco hierarchy, it's always been one where not all Calypsonians support who is in charge of Tuco. And there are very often conflicting relationships between Calypsonians and Tuco's leadership. So it sounded a bit personal to me.
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah, and I didn't think it was. It wasn't done with the kind of diplomacy I thought the head of Tuco should handle that. And I agree I quite frankly, if someone, the guise of calling it a calypso, well, it's a calypso, and the fact that you could say what you want more people, and people could say you're stupid, you're ugly, you don't see, but you can't say I break the law.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot sing I break the law because I will take you to court. You understand?
Yeah.
You could disagree with me strongly. You could say I'm stupid. You could say I'm ugly. I know what I'm talking about. You understand?
Yeah.
But anytime you sing in a calypso that I broke the law, a murder, a rape, a thief, I'm going to take you to court.
And I gather
Calypso should not protect you from that.
Yeah, I gather too with the case with Crow is that it wasn't so much his song that got him in trouble, but what an interview he would have done after that confirmed who he was singing about.
Yes, because that was part of the evidence too.
Yes,
because,
yes.
So when you put, and that is to me where the case may have fallen apart for him.
Yeah, I think so.
You understand? Because I don't think I never hear the whole calypso, but I don't think he called International's name in the calypso.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, but when you go on radio and you say, well, somebody asks you who you're talking about, and you say and you put them together, you have a problem.
Yes, you do. And as you pointed out yesterday, I think I heard you said that yesterday. I listened briefly. You were telling somebody, back in the day, there weren't all these recording devices.
So while they would sing stuff in tent or sing stuff in a bar or something, so you had no evidence to take to court that I sang about you. It's only hearsay, somebody here, so with the evidence that somebody here, so.
Yeah.
You understand? But now, everybody with a phone.
Yep.
Everybody with they stream some calypso tents.
Mm-hmm.
They record them for later playback and stuff like that. So that is where now there's concrete, there's material evidence that someone can present to a court of law to support their claim.
Yeah, and I thought that was a very important point that you made.
Long ago you could have sing where you want. I mean, it's a tent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the calypsos was so powerful to me back then that they spread like wildfire, and people went to the tent to see because they hear what this person singing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to jump on a limb and say, in many of those cases long ago, the writing was a lot craftier. They didn't have to come out and say what they want to say with you understand? Yeah. So plainly.
Yeah.
So they could have the double entendre and the inferences and stuff were a lot more subtle. Now they're saying what they want to say.
Imagine.
Don't beat the goat and love the woman. remember that?
Yes, I remember that.
Right. Okay. He didn't pull no punches there.
No.
But he never called the name.
He never called the name.
But it was so well written.
Yes.
That you almost you didn't have any doubt as to who you were singing about.
Yeah. Remember to the song that Sparrow sang about the Queen, Philip, my dear?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if the Queen had taken offense, because Sparrow didn't mince words in that. I mean, it was cleverly written.
Yeah, but he never called Elizabeth and he never called Philip whole name.
Yeah.
So Philip could be anybody. Yeah. There's a man under my bedroom, under my bed. That's what you're talking about, how well it's written.
Yeah.
You can't away the court for that.
Yeah.
And it referenced a break-in in the Queen's bedroom.
Yes, bedroom, it did.
So
it was a real story.
So and the man hide under the bed.
Yeah.
I mean, Sparrow took it to his father.
Yeah.
I guess it's like this song I'm about to play. Well, this piece it's a short piece of a song. If I can write. So it seems to be a chutney.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Enforce the preeminent idea and the inferences takes back. So you make a video with cricket, you're safe.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
But Drupati don't get all of it.
Satnarayan Raghu, that's the person's name. Banter.
Drupati is such a beautiful woman. Drupati has to be 70 years old.
I'm sure.
But not looking at diversity.
Yeah, yeah.
You understand?
Well, 30 is a little stretch, but
But she's such a beautiful woman, but
she does look good. She
doesn't look like
and
anything.
she hasn't gone out of let me don't say that.
She hasn't lost
maintained her size. She's maintained her size.
Why you can't say she ain't going to she right?
I wasn't gonna say shape, I was gonna say whack, but
no, don't say that. She didn't go out of whack. No, don't say that. That's a bit insensitive. She's kept her figure.
Yeah, she's kept her figure.
But her face is, no wrinkles and
Yeah.
Let me bowl you now.
Mm-hmm.
You
And it's on a
ain't
cricket
bowling
field.
me.
Yeah.
Let me bowl you now. You ain't bowling me.
Mm-hmm.
Let me bowl you. Let me bowl you. Let me bowl. Okay, so.
Oh, I also have greetings from one of our listeners, one of our messengers too, Michael Robinson, from Japan. Remember, we get messages from a Japanese, a guy who lives in Japan. Well, he's here right now in Trinidad. He's visiting. He's been living in Japan for the last 31 years, he said. And he wants to take us for breakfast. It so happens he is the uncle of a friend, Kwesi. You know Kwesi Robinson was former chairman of Tonopuna Piako?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's Kwesi's uncle.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, so
Is it
he's
Kwesi
here
or
visiting. He's actually leaving before Carnival to go back to Japan. So he wants to take us for breakfast. So I suggested next week Monday. He was actually wanting to do it today, but I told him Richard is on leave, some leave. So maybe next week is a good day. So next week, Monday, I'll come down to town. I'll hopefully convince Richard to come down too. And we'll meet up with Mr. Robinson. Manish, he goes by the AKA Manish, nickname Manish.
So welcome home, Manish.
Yeah. So I'm sure he's listening. He said, boy, your leaders have me on a morning. I can't help it.
I am.
But it won't be morning for him where he is in Japan.
Be careful now, Wendell. I have my spyware.
What is
I
that?
tested it last. I actually bought it a year ago and never took it out of the box. But I decided I'm going to test it last night.
You normally take long to take things out of a box.
No, not that long.
Oh, you bought a drone.
A drone. Okay,
Watch yourself. When I pass wrong by your house, now be careful. So I tested it out last night.
Ain't much you go see by me now.
You know, you can't bring that in so anymore.
That's all right.
You forget he
bring
passes
it
through
anymore?
diplomatic line.
Restrictions now when it comes to drones.
That is not so.
I think it's particular types.
There was a release on that.
That is not so. You have to get. There are certain areas you are restricted from flying it.
Well, that's one. But in order to, if I want to order a drone and bring it down by Amazon, I can't remember who I have to get clearance from.
National security.
Let me find it.
But that's if you're ordering it. People bring in any manner of things.
I have not seen any legal notice or law stating you can't bring in drones.
Yeah.
Well, find it, Steve. Let me see. I know very often what they do is, for instance, when there's the military parade in the Savannah, where there's someplace the Prime Minister, the Chief Justice, the President going to be, where there's a security blanket like the prisons or over NSOC building, you cannot fight over that. But I see people flying drones all over the Savannah and different areas.
Every man has family day and sports day.
Family day. So I don't know that there's any restriction. I haven't seen any legal notice indicating you can't bring in a drone. Understand? In Trinidad and Tobago, and you have to get permission to do it. I've seen no such legal notice.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I know that there was some sort of discussion around it, but I don't know how far that reached. You know, like how they
a drone is a toy.
Yeah, it basically is.
And unless you bring an industrial size 3-foot drone. You understand?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's the US Venezuela issue is intensifying again. The US has reimposed sanctions on Venezuela.
Is that official news?
It's official news.
Okay, I didn't get that.
By the Venezuelan Supreme Court to uphold a 15-year ban on main opposition candidate Maria Corina Machado, who is somebody who has gained a lot of popularity in Venezuela against Nicolas Maduro. There was an agreement called the Barbados Agreement signed in 2023, October of 2023, where President Maduro committed to free and fair presidential elections. And the U.S. Department of State spokesperson Matthew Miller issued a statement yesterday where he said the actions of Maduro, including the 15-year banning being upheld by the Venezuelan Supreme Court, is not in keeping with what he agreed to in Barbados last year. Fortunately for Trinidad and Tobago, it does not affect General License 44, which relates to the oil and gas sector and by extension the Dragon deal and Tobago in Venezuela. But I mean, if Maduro continues to intensify, that may also be on the table, you understand?
Yeah.
Which was always the concern by many people, including the opposition, that Maduro is get up tomorrow morning and feel to do what he wants here.
Yep.
And we've put a lot of effort and energy into that deal in terms of securing gas for our purposes.
Yeah.
So, fortunately, that new move by the US, excuse me, does not hamper that. And our deal is for 2 years, stretching to 2025. But as they say, Maduro is, remember the incursion, the issue with Guyana last year? And now that the election is looming close in 2024, he's banned the main opposition person. 15 years.
Wow.
I mean, how is that democracy? I mean,
it is.
No, it's not.
It's
not.
He is not going to change.
No, he's not. And this is the concern with us doing that kind of extensive deal with him. I'm not saying they shouldn't do it, but I mean, what are the safeguards?
Yeah.
You know?
He's not, yeah. He has been he obviously is the benefit from it because he's never been aggressive towards us, eh?
Well, we have also taken particular positions in aid of Venezuela, despite American, I don't want to say warnings, but yes, warnings.
Yeah.
About people doing business with Venezuela, and the Rowley government has had a position that we will do what is in our interest.
Yeah.
And you can't tell us who to do business with. I'm paraphrasing there. You understand?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, I guess for Venezuela, we are an ally because we have kind of gone against the grain in many countries and provided aid to Venezuela when they had issues 2 years ago. You remember?
Yes.
Is it food and some stuff, some other supplies and stuff? Yeah. So we have been, and I guess that's why the relations have been good. But I mean, we also have to manage the relationship with the US.
Yeah.
You understand? Which is our biggest trading partner. So it's a tricky geopolitical road. And fortunately, this new reimposed sanction by the US does not affect that Dragon deal. I mean, Dr. Rowley and Minister Young and Minister Brown and the others are in Washington. So in the best place to say, you understand?
Yeah. But they've also skillfully managed that relationship too with America, with the United States, despite all the problems that they are having with Venezuela.
I agree.
Yeah. They've also skillfully managed that. So.
I agree. So we see how it goes.
Yeah. I found the drone for you, Paul. Regardless of their weight or purpose, all drones must be registered with the Civil Aviation Authority. The only exception is if you are a recreational flying of a Category 1 UA multi-copter.
And it was what he said.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
And that was what I said.
No,
Right.
but
what you just said there is not a ban or a requirement to get permission.
Yeah. You just need to register it.
Yeah, I didn't say it was a ban. You just need to register it.
Steve, you just said you needed permission from the Ministry of National Security to bring in drones. Is that not what you said, Wendell?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
and you need a requirement in order to bring in the drone.
Steve,
I was going to bring one in, but when I saw that form, I said, don't worry.
Steve, you do not need to register all drones. It's a particular category, as I suggested.
There's 1 UA, 2 UA, 3, 4, and 5 UAs.
Right. So
they're different categories, 1 to 5.
So this and need no permission to register. Sure. Which is what I said. And I said also, if it's in industrial level or the drone has particular capabilities, I would imagine you'd have to register it. But generally, what you implied is that people
I'll spell it for you. It goes by the weight of the drone as well.
I don't know why you're fussing about Paul. Paul going and use that drone right inside his own place.
Exactly.
He ain't going nowhere with that drone. He gone to another level of kinky. People have put mirror on the ceiling. Go ahead and put that drone.
And it can hover. It can hover.
It can hover. It can follow you. You can do all kinds. It can land on its own.
Listen, that camera he's using right now does follow him. Sometimes you see when he gets up his camera, the shift.
The camera there. What's the camera? There's a camera underneath too.
All right. I might take a little borrow from you.
It was getting away from me last night. I find it was disappearing. I wasn't controlling it well. And I grabbed it. It cut up my finger, or the propellers cut up my finger. So it was a little violent last night.
Yeah.
But I visited.
There's some other things with it. You have to get clearance from TAT. You have to give them the serial number. Yeah, it's a few things.
Well, a couple of people messaged that, including Finbar Collins said after it comes in, it needs to be registered with civil aviation.
All drones or particular categories of drones?
All drones. They have to have the serial number.
Yeah,
that's with TAT now.
Karen is also saying
it's a bit tedious to go through all of that. It's like getting a walkie-talkie. You ever try to bring in a walkie-talkie? A simple little thing as a walkie-talkie that Price Smart sells. If you have to buy that and bring it, you wouldn't believe the 6-page form you have to fill out.
If I fly into my bedroom, as Wendell implies, I have to register it too?
No, that's just you and whatever you do. Because let me tell you something, right where I am here, I see a couple of residents will come out and they will put the drone up, and I don't know what they're looking for. But
yeah. No, but that drone that Paul has, that's a wicked drone, because that can do all. It can go up, it can hover. You just push a button to hover. It will follow you if you decide to walk or run. It will land on its own.
I've experienced that with drones already too, that they can actually follow.
They're pretty wicked.
Yeah.
I wonder if it'll follow somebody else.
You want to follow Zena to see where she's going?
Trinidad and Tobago scored 42 out of 100 and is ranked 76 according to the latest Corruption Perception Index, CPI, launched by the Trinidad Tobago Transparency Institute. We did not fall, we did not rise, we did not decline, we did not fall.
That's in what area, Paul?
Corruption Perception Index. Barbados, it is a ranking of 170 countries. The closer you go to the top is the 100 is very clean. Lower down is not good. We are at 42. We ain't changed from the last one, 2022. And there is a suggestion. Let me see. Barbados is the top country in the Caribbean, scoring 69, which is closer to 100, followed by, and they ranked 24th. Bahamas, 64, ranked at 30th, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines placed third with a score of 60, ranking at 36. So we are at 42 compared to them. As I said, the higher you go, closer to 100, is the better the score for you as a country. Of course,
where were we back in the day between 2010 and 2015? I'm curious because of the level of accusations that came back then as compared to
my memory tells me that we have improved slightly since 2015.
Okay.
Slightly.
Yeah. Okay. I would imagine because this government has not had the kind of accusations and allegations that the previous government had. Let's be fair. They've not had it. They've not had to deal with many cases, all these accusations and allegations of corruption as the previous government had. You know? That's a factual statement.
The Trinidad Tobago Transparency Institute.
You do agree with me?
Yeah, I can agree with you.
Okay. Oh, that
what you said to argue there. you're set to argue there. You're set to, what if you see you're waiting.
No, but I say, but like I force it out there. You know, you normally very reticent. You normally very straightforward.
I had to think about it.
You aim straight and normally hit your target.
I would imagine that is true, but I am. Remember, it's not one term; it's two terms. So I have to stretch my memory back a bit.
Yeah, no, they've not had the kind of allegations and
whistleblower protection, which I understand is coming to the parliament, or may have been laid already, if I'm not mistaken. And campaign finance legislation, which when he was Attorney General, Faris Elari promised was coming, and it seems nowhere on the horizon.
That ain't coming.
Well, of course that ain't coming. I could tell you that ain't coming. That ain't coming no way. All there's talk about it, that ain't coming at all. I think the elephant in a blue wheel flying in the sky you'll see first. Okay. They go upset too much people.
No government in doing that.
Unfortunately. And the sad thing about it is that even if they bring past and enforce campaign finance legislation, it don't really work,
No, there are so many ways around it.
There's so many ways. Remember the US and the super PACs? Anybody can decide they don't have to give donations directly to the political party,
No.
You can decide, if they put up a stage and a fence and you're going to do what you want with it.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
And they say, use that. So there's but even in principle, they should have campaign finance legislation. In principle.
Yeah. Just to go back to the Dragon deal thing. It says the Dragon license is for an initial period of 2 years and not impacted by the State Department's release. Further to that, these projects can always be impacted by political risk. But Ram Narayan's comment it's apparently from an Express article. So good morning to my friend who shared it. I don't know if he'll ever want me to call his name, but I'll just.
But your friend shared what I said earlier on. It is not.
Yeah, you did. I think he was emphasizing your point when he sent that clip. It's from an Express article. It's not his words.
Karen said he has a drone since 2012. You need to practice plenty. Like flying a plane. Let me tell you something.
And Finbar also said that it's a good thing to register it anyway. It's safer. Next thing you know, they swoop down on your mansion day later.
They can. What they see, they see.
They had to be mad.
They can.
And seize a drone? Is what else you bring in with that drone? That's the problem.
What else would I have brought in with the drone?
I don't know. Maybe cricket gear? I don't know.
I'm not in the same business as Dr. Raj. Okay?
You might have bring down cricket gear.
Anyway.
That was clever.
No, it wasn't, actually. So we will monitor this development in Venezuela. And again, I mean, really, Maduro? You banned the woman for 15 years because she's popular?
Maduro wants no opposition.
He wants nobody to go up against him at all.
I'll say he wants no
president for life.
He wants no opposition. That man who had all the hope in the world and got backing from even our opposition here, where people started to recognize him as the president. Where is he now today?
He was very problematic.
Not a peep out of him.
Is that Juan Guaido?
Juan Guaido, yes. Not a peep out of him.
He was very, very problematic. And remains problematic in many different ways. Right? And he got quite a bit of backing from large countries.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. He was heavily he was very popular.
And then they realized he's problematic and they dropped him. To this lady now, who's also very popular and growing in popularity, cannot even contest the election because if You feel like getting popular, I'm going to ban you. I'm going to find a way to ban you.
Yeah.
How is that? What's the point of the election? It's like the referendum the other day to take back the piece of land from Guyana. I mean, when all the people who, but not all, but when quite a number of the people who are against you have already left the country. You understand?
Yeah.
Because they with the political persecution. How is that democracy? Anyway, so we
So
see how
there's
it,
stick fighting people down at the Diego Martin Regional Complex. I've never been to stick fighting. I'm going to make my first effort to go today. I've never attended a stick fight. Well, I've never attended. Let me rephrase that. I've never been to stick fighting during the carnival time, the stick fighting competition. So I'm going to make my first effort to go today. Rumbox will also be down there, folks. So don't you'll see all the Rumbox personnel in case you're interested in meeting any of them, right?
6:47. Let's move to the papers this morning.
Yeah, I was looking to see if Steve sent me the Guardian, but he didn't.
Steve is going in hard to make his point.
Which
No,
one?
it's just that I know it doesn't mean that if you don't know, it's not so.
You know, did you remember what I said?
Paul, just send your courier out and get the registration done.
I
It's probably
said
an online process anyway.
I have not seen the laws. I didn't say that.
It's probably an online process anyway. So just let your courier handle it.
That's all.
My courier.
All right, let's get the headlines, gentlemen.
Call him. Paul, you
Right.
hear that?
So, in case of full transparency, this is what Steve sent to me. Citizens of TNT who are purchasing drones online for shipping through skybox companies would have their drones confiscated by customs and excise. The warning sent out to customers by some courier companies earlier this week. This is an article that August 30th, 2023. Right? Customers are being told that a permit is needed for shipping and that permit to be obtained by TAT or written consent needed for courier companies to ship drones. Well, I take that, but what I remember Steve saying is that you have to have a license to operate a drone, which is quite different. Express this morning. PM talks security with CIA and Pentagon chiefs. Rescue team, Ayubi, not one of us. The issue related to the town hall meeting in San Fernando on Monday seemingly had some sort of, let me just go to the article, I don't want to misquote. Right. The well-regarded Hunter Search and Rescue team who attended the town hall meeting on Monday ended up hearing from a man leading a lesser-known organization, which is a similar mission and name. In other words, they kind of distancing themselves from the meeting. The association we know more popularly, right? Calypsonians cautious after Krokro ruling. I heard Krokro cross everybody who called him yesterday, well, almost. And unless you have a certified check, don't call me.
Yeah, I didn't get caught. That's one good thing.
The U.S. reimposes sanctions on Venezuela. Grateful Makila vows to carry on dad's legacy. Crime and Venezuelan agenda. Abraham, no one will shut me up. So let's move to the Guardian now. I'll think of a question. Guardian for today. Autopsy reveals blunt force trauma in teacher's death. Of course, she fell from quite a height. Condolences again to her family. Crime, high travel and accommodation cost takes toll. Apparently, carnival bands are seeing a diminished interest in their offerings from masqueraders. EMBD wins appeal in multi-million cartel case. Promoter security advised Mitchell of danger at San Fernando Hill threat. Contractors and Munila will have to file defenses. Go for trial, says the AG in that judgment yesterday. Krokro defamation loss won't muzzle Calypso, says veterans. And man sentenced to 20 years after for JP's killing. So Nedco distributes 4,000 grants. And RBC's financial profits rise by 18.4%. Banks do ever lose?
Never.
No, they don't.
Never.
No matter what, they don't lose. What is going on with this thing today? It keeps jumping around.
Is that song you
NEWS.
played?
Right. Newsday today. Tobago farmers urged to innovate and adopt sustainable practices. Gopi School leads trade mission to Belize. Ex-Senate Vice President changed the government. Tuco President on defamation ruling, don't use Calypso as a weapon, which is a very strange thing for Calypso. Tuco President to say. Do you find so?
Yeah.
I don't know. Very odd. Classes resume at Signal Hill Government Secondary. And judge quashes deportation order for Venezuelan mother. Body found in Barrackpore River identified as Shiva. So those are trending stories in New Express, Guardian, and Newsday for today, Wednesday, the 31st of January, 2023. Did you all hear that the Commissioner of Police will be coming before the GSC National Security this afternoon?
Today?
Yeah, I just said you say that.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And her team.
Mm.
All right. Well, we know a lot of anyway. But that's good. Let's see what comes out
Very
of
good.
that. But in terms of a poll, a lot of people have been calling.
Well, I
for
haven't get the poll. Yeah, I haven't get the results of the poll yesterday.
All right, and I just suggesting something because a lot of people, since the comments of the head of Tuco, a lot of people have been calling for him to step down or for his resignation or for his dismissal or whatever, based on his comments on the ruling. So maybe we could ask a question along those lines if you agree with the calls for the resignation of the president of Tuco, Ainsley King. That's one possible poll. So I don't know if you asked about the actual ruling. You questioned the ruling yesterday?
Yesterday, yes, we did.
Okay.
That's the question yesterday. I don't know if everyone would have had sight of the Tuco president comments.
You have it? You have a clip at all?
No, I don't have a clip. That's the thing. So unless it's widespread news, it wasn't top level news.
All right. Well, gentlemen, let's say good morning, good night to Nikisha Pierre, Josie Richardson, Trinidad Margot, Nessa Mohammed, Marcia Rock out in Florida, Iron Man, Tony Stark is N, Cheryl Seeley, Brent Sylvester, CPT Singh, Ida Wells, Karen Yipno, Akash Singh, Carl M. Jack, Ron M, Derek Parsons, good morning, Ewart Rajpal, Finbar Collins, Corey Jilks.
Carl M. Jack is asking me to share my thoughts on the U.S. court judgment regarding former FIFA personnel. Carl M. Jack, my lawyer is in a senior counsel.
What was that? What judgment was that? Was something
my lawyer is a junior counsel.
Good morning, Captain Ron out in Texas this morning. Good morning to you.
What tone, Mrs. Zara? What tone you talking about? And where your husband?
That's a good question. All right. So our poll yesterday was, do you agree with the defamation judgment against Calypsonian Crow? Yes or no? I'll tell you the results right after this.
The crowning of the Chutney Soca Monarch, the Queen of Chutney Soca. It's Chutney Royalty at Skinner Park, San Fernando. Saturday, 10th February, 8 p.m. 12 of the biggest names in Chutney Soca, together with the biggest names on the Carnival Circuit. Ravi B, Nisha B, and Karma. Nishard M, Young Breda and Pimpin. Ruplal G, Nival Chaitla, Kalnayak Dance Academy, DJ Anna and Simo. Hosted by Big Rich and international soca media influencer Carla Henry from the USA. It's the biggest night. It's the biggest party. It's the colors of Chutney. The party starts immediately following the competition. Wear white and enjoy the colored cannons as we herald the colors of unity of our blessed nation TNT. The Chutney Soca Monarch 2024 is sponsored by media partners IETV, Boom 94, Lit 102.3, Power 102 Digital, social media partners West Indian Chutney Music, Masala Entertainment, corporate sponsors Harriet Sweets, B Mobile, Blue Waters, Stamina Energy, Tourism Trinidad Limited, Caribbean Airlines, the official airline of CSM. Our presenting sponsors, the National Carnival Commission of TNT Limited and the Ministry of Tourism, Culture, and the Arts.
Brass fans, get ready for Carnival Monday night. We are back. Brass Bacchanal. 10 outstanding brass bands, all vying for combined prize pool of $500,000. What a thrilling musical showdown.
Brass Bacchanal, a spectacular event hosted by the National Carnival Commission.
Carnival Monday night, February 12th. The festivities kick off at 9 p.m. at the iconic Queen's Park Savannah in Port of Spain.
The energy promises to be contagious. Performances unforgettable. Secure your tickets now at Cachet stores nationwide, Java Nation, Port of Spain, and Food Hall of Piaco Plaza, NCC Box Office, Queen's Park Savannah, and online at islandetickets.com. Brass Bacchanal, where energy equals contagion.
All right, do you agree with the judgment against Crow Crow? 56% said yes. All right, let's get into this morning's poll.
This is our, you obviously have nothing to do this morning. Anyway, for the corrected statement made earlier, the corruption indices for 2015 was 39. For 2016, it improved quite a bit to 35. And now it's at 42, 2022 and 2023. So it's going in the wrong direction.
You're wrong.
The wrong direction. Going, is zero. No, actually, it's going in the right direction. Sorry.
That's what I'm saying.
It's going in the right direction.
36 to 39 to 42 is
because,
the right direction.
because closer to zero is better.
Yeah.
Right? So it's improving. My bad.
Yeah.
Right? So it's improving. Or it has improved since then.
Well, naturally.
Well, the score is out of 100, producer. So if it heading, anyway, that's the question this morning. My suggestion is, are you worried about the Dragon deal in light of developments in Venezuela?
Okay.
You understand? Or do you think the Dragon deal is in jeopardy? Which one do you all think?
Yeah.
It's more appropriate.
I haven't followed that story since with the issue of what's happening.
The issues with Venezuela and the reimposed sanctions from the US, which is the top story around the country this morning.
Oh, is it?
But do you think the Dragon deal is in jeopardy? That could be the question.
Okay.
We run over the question over 7 o'clock, and we have Tre Canal coming in after. Right? TNT and...
Good morning, Michael Robinson. I hope you now wake up because I did speak about you this morning. He is here in Trinidad and Tobago. He's one of our listeners, one of our participants from Japan. I wonder about Japan. I remember somebody telling me how the first time they went to Japan, more than 20 years ago, the people were touching the skin because it was so strange seeing a black person. People were walking up to them and saying, "Can I touch your skin?"
Right. Yes or no?
Right. Alistair Hart has already voted. He said no. Adrian Kutu says yes. I don't know if Adrian Kutu was voting to that poll. But he voted. Is that the time already? That the time that's coming up on these polls?
I tell you, we have to go over 7 o'clock.
That's what I'm saying. Oh goodness, it's 6:59 already.
And you all can continue voting throughout the newscast also. So this is our question this morning. Do you think the Dragon deal between TNT and Venezuela is in danger given the developments in Venezuela? Yes or no? You can post, you can text, you can call. We'll carry the poll over 7 o'clock just because we started a bit late this morning. And then later on this morning, we have Tre Canal talking about their 30th anniversary of the Juve band, which is going to be the last. But they will continue making music.
Yeah. Are they also calling this last band Blue Devils?
No.
That's what they should have done, though.
Rena Jennings says no. Alistair Hart said no. Cheryl Johnson said no. Gregory Bauer said yes. He's worried. Is that an affirmative?
Yes, that's what that is meant. Yes, right. I'm worried. It's Boye, not Boa. Boye. You pronounce it Boye.
Boy, I'm sorry, Wendell. I apologize deeply.
He told me to tell you all that, you see.
All right. Okay. Gentlemen, we got to run into our major news. Let's do that right now. Evie is in.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
Trinidad and Tobago scores 42 out of 100 in latest corruption perceptions index. America threatens to reimpose sanctions on Venezuelan oil sector. JSC continues inquiry today into anti-crime strategies by the TDPS to address criminal activity and Defense Cooperation and Border Security among issues discussed during Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley's meeting with U.S. Deputy Undersecretary of Defense at the Pentagon. Details in a moment. This is News 2, 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. I'm Avril Sintel-Bab. Good morning. Trinidad and Tobago scored 42 out of 100 and is ranked 76th, according to the latest Corruption Perceptions Index launched Tuesday by Trinidad and Tobago Transparency Institute under the theme Corruption and Injustice. TNT joins over two-thirds of the country, scoring below 50 out of 100 in the 2023 results of the CPI. The territories are scored on a scale of 0, highly corrupt, to 100, very clean. TTTI says although this country's position has not declined in the report, neither has there been any improvement. It says Trinidad and Tobago must be mindful that the perceived level of corruption is still very high, as there appears to be an inability or lack of effort and interest on the part of public officials to tackle corruption. Since its inception in 1995, the Corruption Perceptions Index has become the leading global indicator of public sector corruption, which scores 180 countries and territories around the world based on perceived levels of public sector corruption. Meanwhile, in an effort to combat corruption, TTTI calls for an independent and strong judiciary, one which the public can trust to be impartial in dealing with any matters. All members of parliament are called on to support the passage and implementation of the Whistleblower Protection Bill when next laid in parliament for the protection of witnesses and victims of corruption. Trinidad and Tobago will again face another general election in 2025, and TTTI continues to publicly call for campaign finance legislation to be brought to the parliament, proclaimed and enforced as promised before the next election. Barbados has topped the list for regional countries with a score of 69 and is ranked 24th. Bahamas followed with 64 and is ranked 30th. St. Vincent and the Grenadines placed 3rd with a score of 60 and is ranked at 36. The United States has reimposed sanctions on Venezuela following a ruling by the Venezuelan Supreme Court to uphold a 15-year ban on main opposition candidate Maria Corina Machado from the presidential election scheduled for this year. In October 2023, the U.S. loosened its sanctions against Venezuela under the Barbados Agreement, where President Nicolas Maduro committed to free and fair presidential elections, among other things. This agreement is separate from the drug and gas deal between Trinidad and Tobago and Venezuela. U.S. Department of State spokesperson Matthew Miller issued a statement yesterday which said the actions of Maduro and his representatives, including the arrest of members of the Democratic opposition and the barring of candidates from competing in this year's presidential elections, were inconsistent with the agreement signed in Barbados last October. Miller noted that in support of the Barbados Agreement, the United States issued General License 44, which provides relief to Venezuela's oil and gas sector. Additionally, the United States is revoking General License 43, which authorized transactions including Minervan, the Venezuelan state-owned gold mining company. United States persons will have 14 days to wind down any transactions that were previously authorized by that license, it added. Energy Minister Stuart Young had previously explained that the Office of Foreign Assets Control license granted to the Trinidad and Tobago government is specific and separate to the general license that was issued by OFAC on October 18, 2023, relating to Venezuela that expires on April 18, 2024. He said that General OFAC License number 44 does not affect the work being undertaken by the government of Venezuela and TNT to produce and export the gas from the Dragon gas field to Trinidad and Tobago. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley and Young have been in the U.S. holding talks with officials, including Secretary of State Anthony Blinken. The Joint Select Committee on National Security will conduct a follow-up inquiry with officials of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service on Wednesday, today at 2:30 p.m. The public meeting in the Linda Babulal meeting room ground floor parliamentary complex Cabildo buildings in Vince Street, Port of Spain will take place. JSC said this will be done to gain an understanding of the anti-crime strategies implemented and being implemented to address criminal activity in Trinidad and Tobago. Defense Corporation Border Security Partnership with the Delaware National Guard, Cyber Defense and Cybersecurity, as well as regional maritime interdiction were discussed during Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley's meeting with Melissa Dalton, U.S. Deputy Undersecretary of Defense at the Pentagon. The Office of the Prime Minister and other officials from the Department of Defense were also present for the meeting, including Daniel Erickson, Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for the Western Hemisphere. Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, Dr. Amory Brown, Minister of Energy and Energy Industries, and Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Stuart Young, and Chief of Defense Staff of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, Air Vice Marshal Daryl Daniel were present. Monday evening, Prime Minister Dr. Rowley also met with the Director of the CIA, William Burns, at their Langley headquarters in Virginia. A local delegation from the private sector left Tuesday on a trade mission to Belize and will return on February 3rd. The trade mission comprises 23 companies from the food and beverage, transportation and logistics, oil and gas, marketing and health services sectors. The trade mission will include a doing business seminar, business-to-business meetings, and site visit to businesses. These will provide Trinidad and Tobago's exporters with networking opportunities, a chance to share market information, and the opportunity to meet with potential buyers and agents. In addition, Minister of Trade and Industry, Paula Gopi-Schoon, will engage in bilateral discussions with the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, the Minister of Agriculture, and the Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance in Belize. A meeting will also be held with the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry. These discussions will seek to strengthen trading relations between both countries, which will advance the export prospects for local manufacturers. It is organized by the Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturers Association and Export TT, the National Export Facilitation Organization of Trinidad and Tobago. You are listening to news on Power 102 Digital to 7 o'clock. Clinical psychologist Dr. Valini Pundit claims the fear of crime is making it increasingly difficult for people to live in the country. She said many young persons are turning to the use of drugs made available from pharmacies without a prescription and are becoming addicted. Dr. Pundit suggested closer monitoring and auditing of pharmacies in a bid to address the situation. Her comments were made during the second anti-crime town hall meeting held at Naparima College on Monday.
So, but in Trinidad and Tobago, why can a young person go into a pharmacy and pick up as many bottles of codeine that they want or any other drugs without a prescription, fueling an addiction crisis? And again, there is no auditing. The government in their last report has said that they don't have enough pharmacists to make up the audit personnel to audit the pharmacies to ensure that everybody is doing what they want. It's our children, it's our brothers and sisters that are suffering. Where is the information? How do we help our own people?
The stress caused by crime and the departure of skilled personnel described as a brain drain is another factor which was highlighted.
Ladies and gentlemen, fight or flight is quite literal. Those who remain, we're fighting for our lives, and those who have the resources, the brain drain is exponential. For how long will we as a people accept this? In my mind, and this is with no legal background or legal jargon, I find the amount of stress and crime that we have to tolerate in this country it almost amounts to a human rights violation. It's becoming increasingly difficult to live in Trinidad and Tobago and to have a sense of peace.
Finally, here is weather news for the period today till midnight. Trinidad and Tobago mainly dull, hazy, and at times breezy conditions. Despite the odd shower, nighttime will be fair but hazy. Note there is a significant concentration of Saharan dust present in the atmosphere. Air quality is thereby reduced. Sensitive groups are being told to take the necessary precautions. Look out for a forecast maximum temperature of 32 degrees Celsius at Piarco International Airport and 31 degrees Celsius at Crown Point in Tobago. Currently, it is 25 degrees Celsius at Piarco International Airport and 27 degrees Celsius at Crown Point in Tobago. Recapping your headlines to 7 o'clock, Trinidad and Tobago scores 42 out of 100 in latest Corruption Perceptions Index. America threatens to reimpose sanctions on Venezuela oil sector. JSC continues inquiry today into anti-crime strategies by the TDPS to address criminal activity. And Defense Cooperation and Border Security among issues discussed during Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley's meeting with the U.S. Deputy Undersecretary of Defense at the Pentagon. I'm Avril Sindhilbab. That was news to 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. Look out for more news info coming up at 12 noon and an update coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. For more details, log on to power102fm.com.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
Alrighty. Thank you, Evie, for our major news. You can join her again come 8 o'clock this morning for our news brief. Quickly, traffic-wise, got a couple accidents to tell you about. One is at Mova Junction on the Eastern Main Road, and one is just north of Monroe Road on the Uriah Butler Highway. Apart from that, traffic is just heavy everywhere. Yeah, just heavy. Diego Martin, heavy. All right, gentlemen. Let's continue with our morning poll before our guest comes in. I don't know what you all read.
We read up to Cheryl Johnson. So since Cheryl Johnson voted no, Akash Singh said, Paul, I saw a comment that the deal is not in jeopardy, but what's of concern is the revoking of 44 impacts, the ability for us to pay Venezuela in USD.
Lester Craigwell says very concerned, yes. Thick Money Grip says no. Derek Parsons says no. Wayne B says no. Akash Singh. Okay. Josie Richardson said yes. Finbar Collins says no. Ambrose Blas says no. Alistair Hart. Oh, he didn't vote. Mogain says no. Guy Small says yes. Marcia Rock says no. Let's see. Bobby says yes. Even Shigagwana says no. Cascade St. Anne says yes. Danrad says yes. Jaron Joseph. Okay, you didn't vote, Jaron.
Trini Bree says no. Marcia Rock says no. If you didn't get those already.
We got Marcia.
Trini Bree says no.
Yeah.
Finbar, you're making sense there. The US is actually drilling in Venezuela too and Guyana.
They understand the value of Venezuela at the end of the day, you know.
It is the fifth largest.
Despite what they think about Maduro, they understand the value of Venezuela as a space.
Yeah, well, that's why it's in their interest to get somebody in who is more amenable to them.
Yeah, yep, and that's what they've been trying to do.
So, you all have the results of the poll, or you will give them 5 minutes again to continue voting and calling, because we did promise them some extra time.
What did you never experience, Michael? I'm guessing it's stick fighting also. But come down, let Kwesi bring you down to the Diego Martin complex tonight. The Diego Martin Regional Complex. I've never been there since they built that place too. So it'll be the first time I'm going down there. But I heard it's a beautiful space also. So they're stick fighting on tonight.
So we're going to take some calls for the next 2-3 minutes. Wendell's already logged in, so we're going to stand by to talk to Wendell Manwaring of Tre Canal. Because we started the poll, if you're going to afford you a couple extra minutes to continue voting and or calling and or texting and or messaging.
Good morning, Amjad Ali, Furniture Plus. Morning, Jaron. Morning. Who else messaged me for the morning? Who else messages me for the morning? Carol Guevara, morning, Carol. And good morning, Chris Tousse. He said, tell Dr. Rowley to give him a check. He is there in Washington. Chris is going to take you around and show you all the hot spots in Washington, D.C.
Alan Reese says yes. Trevor Arima says no.
Chris, I don't think the Prime Minister can go to the hotspots that you frequent.
Yeah.
You get into trouble. Not while on the taxpayer's dime anyway.
He might sneak away.
Sorry?
I've heard stories about the PM already. You know? Ducking security. All prime ministers.
You're on your own.
I've heard stories.
Val
Cassie
says,
Sangor says no.
yeah, Val says no.
Mrs. R says, what is that a yes for the poll or a yes to anything else? Because she's a little, they say strange things.
Yeah.
And she has money here.
Ian Harlem says no.
Yeah, there is Mrs. R and Karen responds to every single thing is said, so you don't know when it comes up what they're actually responding to.
Mm-hmm. And now she has more time in her hand because her husband MIA.
Yeah.
She don't have a clue where he is. That could be traumatic, you know.
I know.
See how aggressive she get there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Angry faces and things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Rolling iron thing. That's the disconnecting feeling, you know. He'll come back just now. He'll come back, don't worry.
It's withdrawal.
You have to get him a little room, space to roam. Yeah. Because you alone, you can't find everything you want in one person. Give him a little space to roam.
Says no.
I'm sure you have everything he wants, Mrs. R. Sure. You might have most of it, but not all. I think I come to Zina and Strongy because I know I can get Zina everything she wants. So Strongy supply the house and the land and the food, and I supply anything else she need.
You supply the ceramic paste.
She says she's the whole blinking market. Yeah, but you're missing some produce. Let me tell you something, Mr. Dodds. The sideman is not a problem, you know. You understand the responsibility of sideman. Anyway, let's give the results to the polls. Wendell is standing by.
Yeah.
Right. We got enough.
Yeah, I think we got enough. Do you think the dragon deal between Trinidad and Tobago and Venezuela is in danger given the new developments in Venezuela and, of course, the U.S.? We had 10 people saying yes, and 15 said no. 10 said yes, they are concerned. 15 said no, they're not.
All right, so we'll bring in Wendell Manwaring right after this.
The crowning of the Chutney Soca monarch, the Queen of Chutney Soca. It's Chutney royalty at Skinner Park, San Fernando. Saturday, 10th February, 8 p.m. 12 of the biggest names in Chutney Soca, together with the biggest names on the carnival circuit. Ravi B, Nisha B, and Karma. Nishard M, Young Bretta and Pimpin. Ruplal G, Nival Chaitlal. Kalnayak Dance Academy. DJ Anna and Simo. Hosted by Big Rich and international soca media influencer Carla Henry from the USA. It's the biggest night. It's the biggest party. It's the colors of Chutney. The party starts immediately following the competition. Wear white and enjoy the colored cannons as we herald the colors of unity of our blessed nation, TNT. The Chutney Soca Monarch 2024 is sponsored by media partners IETV, Boom 94, Lit 102.3, Power 102 Digital. Social media partners West Indian Chutney Music, Masala Entertainment. Corporate sponsors Paris, T-Mobile, Blue Waters, Stamina Energy, Tourism Trinidad Limited, Caribbean Airlines, the official airline of CSM. Our presenting sponsors, the National Carnival Commission of TNT Limited and the Ministry of Tourism, Culture, and the Arts.
All right, thank you so much. Of course, our morning poll will stay up until tomorrow morning on our website and on our app for you to vote. We'll give you the final results tomorrow. All right?
Just before you bring in Wendell, the Saharan dust is really,
Wendell Manwaring.
Really bad.
Yeah.
Is Steve hearing me?
Yeah. Sorry, I had you down. Go ahead.
All right. No, I'm just saying the Saharan dust is very bad out there.
I said that
this morning. Outside and it's
horrible.
Terrible. I've never seen it like that.
No, it's going to get worse.
It's bad
as the day progresses. It's going to get there. It's a huge plume. I'm surprised the Sahara still have dust. All right, Wendell, where are you? I'm not seeing your camera on. Oh gosh, look at that.
Yeah, man, I'm here. I'm seeing you guys. Are you hearing me?
We're hearing you, but we're not seeing you.
Oh, is my camera on?
No, it's not.
It's on, but it's not facing you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you have to click the camera part of it.
Seeing you know, but we're hearing you.
I'm seeing me on the screen, but I don't know why you're not seeing me. It's the first time I'm using this this StreamYard thing on this new computer.
Sometimes is it? Are you on a Chrome browser?
Yeah, I'm Chrome. I'm on Chrome. I just downloaded it.
Okay. Maybe the camera. Sometimes the camera defaults to a different camera option that you may have had on before. So that may be an option. Anyway, good morning, Wendell.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really don't know what's going on with the camera, but you're hearing me, right?
We'll survive.
We'll
survive. We will survive. Because I can be the fourth member of Tre Canal.
Well, I hear my boy singing there.
Yeah, I could be the fourth one, you know.
You're being very generous by using the term singing, but
you let noise there.
All right, so well, 30-year anniversary. Congratulations.
Thank you very much,
my friend.
Yeah, a whole generation.
Isn't that crazy though?
It is. It is. I mean, it really is quite a lot to take in. To think that it's been 30 years.
I remember 30 years ago, I can't believe it's 30 years, being called to a little recording studio by a wonderful producer who's now passed, Graham Wilson in Woodbrook.
He's upon him.
And calling me to say, come and listen to a song we do. So, okay, no problem. And we played that song about 25, 30 times. Remember that?
I remember very well.
And we kept saying, play it again, play it again. Wow, play it again, play it again. And you, Roger, and John Isaac at the time, right?
Yeah, John as well, yeah.
I don't think Stanton wasn't with the group yet.
Yeah, Stanton was there.
Stanton was there, okay, all right.
He probably wasn't in the session that day, but he was there.
And saying, you all were actually worried and saying, you think people go like this? And I'm saying, you're crazy, what, you ain't hearing that?
We had no clue.
They actually were very, you know, they liked the song, they knew they did good work, but they weren't sure how it would be accepted. And then they released the song, and the rest is history.
The rest is history. I remember having to call you and say, Paul, stop playing the song so much.
Stop playing the song. So much. Because it was tied to a Juve band, and the Juve band is still the greatest Juve experience I ever had. Because I always talk about this. I remember, and I wish I had a camera on me that day, coming down the eastern part of the Queen's Park Savannah by where First Citizens is there now.
Right.
But almost by Memorial Park. And looking back, and the band was still all through that road at President's house.
Yeah. It took us the entire morning to get from President's house to Curiosity Roundabout. That was our Juve morning.
10,000 Blue Devils coming down and flambeaus and stuff, and it was an amazing sight. And that spawned a whole business.
It was crazy. It was one of the most incredible experiences, but one of the most frightening experiences as well, because we realized that it had gone way beyond our control. And I just give thanks that it didn't turn into anything kind of mayhem. But
interestingly enough, no injuries, no shootings, nothing at that time, 30 years ago.
At that time, yeah.
How has it evolved since? Has it been more difficult in past years given the situation in the country?
It has evolved tremendously. One of the things, of course, there's a whole new generation of Juve band, bringers of Juve band. Many people say it's our fault. We take some responsibility for giving people the sense that I could bring a band too. One of the things that I've observed in the last couple of years is that we've been continuing along our route, heading from Woodbrook east up to the Savannah. And most times we encounter a number of Juve bands heading down west to St. James. I mean, I don't understand when that came into the mix, but it did at a certain point. We've run into problems when we get to the Savannah because the Marsh Ground now has infrastructure in the alley where the truck's supposed to pass, and we can't get on the stage. And it's been a tremendous struggle in the last couple of years. One of the biggest challenges, of course, is people coming and asking about it being all-inclusive, you know, whether we have drinks and food on it. I can't fathom the concept of trying to provide people with drinks and food and we could have a Juve morning mayhem. So it's changed tremendously, and I don't know if it has changed for the better.
What prompted your decision to call it quits, though, to make this the last year?
Just the recognition that it's a 30-year generational cycle, more than anything else. And even before Blue, we did 3 bands. So because Blue was 27 years ago, and we did 3 bands before that. 1994 is when we started. It was Steve Woodett, Roger Roberts, and myself. And we had a little band called Juxtapose, just a few people, not more than 100. We teamed up with Mothers International at the time, and they were gracious enough to sort of incubate us for that period. And we shared Laventry Rhythm section. So just from that beginning, we started in white, and this year being our Pearl anniversary, and the sailor motif, we decided to explore because we like to go with a archetypal carnival character and a color. So the color is white, and you can't get more white than sailor and powder. So we start in white, and here we are in white all these years later, and it's a good time to bring it down. Plus, we have knees and things to consider. Age is a factor too.
It ain't bothering Paul and Richard, so I don't know why it bothering you, Wendell.
Nah, there's plenty jumping up and cavorting.
He's an entertainer. I
like the word cavorting.
Cavorting, yeah. I use it in the script for this year's show.
You seem to be concerned. I always said I love Juve because Juve is so organic. It is uncommercialized, or it had been when I used to partake, and it was one of the few things that you could go from band to band and enjoy carnival in its most original form without the complexities of evolution and feathers and beads. But that's changing now because 1, Juve is all inclusive. 2, Juve seems to be holier now, so it's almost like there's nothing special about it anymore. Is that
well? You're tapped into something very crucial there, because the whole idea of Juve losing its specialness because we now have a Juve party virtually every month. And, as Roger was saying in an interview the other day, it's okay if you want to have a party and paint up yourself and call it a dirty party or a stink and dirty or whatever you want to call it. But to actually call it Juve, it takes away from the fact that Juve is an annual ritual, and it happens and it's done and you miss it until the next one. And back to the point about it being a free space, Paul, I mean, nothing could be truer. Juve is one of the last domains of the sort of free space that we all can enjoy on a carnival morning to start the thing. And now we start seeing rope. And in some cases, we see like some plastic fencing, like, they put up on construction sites. I mean, I saw a band over the last 2 years. We've seen a band coming down as we heading up east, they're coming down west. And the people inside this like a cattle run, and they don't look too happy. I don't understand, how you could sort of subject yourself to that kind of confinement on a Juve morning. For me, it goes against the spirit of the thing.
I'm so happy you raised that issue, because that used to bother me downtown all the time with this rope and thing around people. It used to bother me. But
I'm amazed that we've allowed the rope, and I say we as a people, as a society, to proliferate for so long. And because I heard stories as a youth growing up that there used to be rope and that was laughed out of town. And then all of a sudden, with the rise of the all-inclusive band, the rope has made a return. But the rope don't hold itself. One of my issues with the rope is that it have to have people to hold the rope. And who are the people holding the rope?
Exactly.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because you say you don't understand how people allow themselves to be roped off. And the unfortunate thing about it is that there are parts of Juve, and I stress parts, because there's still some organic little Juve bands that don't go on that road. It is a part of the segregation culture. So we don't want them in we band.
Well, yeah.
This is and we don't want them in our band. Those people.
Well, the carnival, I find more and more is showing up that segregation culture and that chasm that exists between certain people who believe that they're more special and set apart from other people. That blue reference you made, Paul, them people just joined the band. And it was a Juve morning. There's no way we could have stopped all those thousands of people from responding to the song and responding to the video and responding to the vibe that we sent out that morning. And there was a young lady who was like, get these people out of the band. I was like, how are I getting these people out of the band? It's Juve morning. How is it possible? So for me, it's a mental transaction.
And to your point earlier on, where you say while Juve bands traditionally went east and faced the sun, the rising sun, which is such a beautiful experience, a lot of bands are tending now to go into the western areas and go through Fed Park, etc.
Yeah. Yes.
Because they don't want to encounter the masses to invade their band. And I'm being very serious because I've seen it evolve over the years into this segregation culture where we're not going where the other bands are going. It happens with the big mass on Tuesday too, where we're not going to Piccadilly Greens because we don't want to go to that area, you know, and we don't care about competition. It is part of, I guess, how we have to grow as a country, and to me it's not a positive development to me.
I couldn't agree with you more. For me, it speaks volumes to as I say, the growing social divide. You know, couple that with the fact that, you know, we now have all-inclusive feds that is some people weekly salary to go to the Fed, and you know, a lot of these things that purport to be inclusive are really exclusive, because what they're trading on is access, unlimited access.
Well, when you can be called VIP as opposed to ordinary, or VVIP, which is even more elite than VIP, it tells you about the society, doesn't it? And it's important for people, for some reason, to be in the VIP or the VVIP because they don't feel worthy. Were you in general admission, or we weren't over there? You know, we were in the VIP. But am I lying?
You ain't lying. You're talking the truth.
But they want to feel more special.
Yeah, I'm glad you're saying it.
I've seen it for years, and I don't care, and I will say it for years because I've seen it develop over. Remember some nights in some clubs, and Gollywog night. Remember that?
Yeah. We grew up.
Guys, let me tell you how bad it is now, right? And I don't know if you all notice it. There are people now who go into these fetes, these VIP fetes, and they're keeping the band in their hand. They're not moving 5 and 6 bands down their hand.
Yeah, there are people who collect it. I know a partner, he's boasts about having 10 and 12 bands. Yeah.
It's a status symbol. It means that I'm better than everybody else, psychologically or socially.
Well, as I say, it says a lot about our society. And I mean, the carnival is a mirror, as Mitchell said a long time ago. And if you look at the carnival and you ain't like what you see, it's because, you know, maybe it has certain aspects of who we are that aren't all that wonderful and we're not ready to engage and embrace. I am very concerned for the young people out there who believe or don't understand that the carnival on the whole is a free space, and the road is for everybody. And I really take issue with the rope. I know of people who physically been beaten down trying to cross from one side of the street to the next. You know, we used to have our mass camp on Arpita Avenue, and literally some of our guys just trying to get from one side of the street to the next, get beat up. Bad, not just kind of beat, beat bad.
Yeah.
And that can't be right.
Yes, I remember, Wendell, Paul, I remember one year, because I spent 6 years as chairman of Downtown Carnival, right? So bands would be crossing the Southeast stage. And a mile after the band has already crossed, the last masquerade across, they have rope off, you know. I tell the police, I said, no, why? That space don't belong to them. Go and tell them to move that rope.
Yeah, the rope is a serious issue. The road is everybody's domain. And Paul, to your point about keeping certain people out of the mix, it started happening a long time ago, because we've seen the impact of the amount of spectators on the street, even for Juve over the years. It's diminished tremendously. You have these roadblocks that they put up around Port of Spain from midnight to about 4 a.m. Sometimes our truck coming from Laventille would get stuck in it. They'd make everybody on the truck come up. They come in to beat iron and beat drum, and they're rubbing them down and all them kind of thing, and then sending them into town. So over the years, a lot of people just don't bother to even try and get past it.
And the spectators on the street have diminished also because, one, there's very little to see. Yeah. And I have no problem with body mass. People work in the gym and they have there's different kinds of mass, because people have the right to play whatever kind of mass they want. I have no problem with that. But then, what are you bringing your children to see?
Yeah, well, Carnival Tuesday, because I'm right on the avenue there. I just see a sea of bodies. And
that's fine, but what you bring? Is that what you bring your children to see?
Well, after a while, it's just a sea of bodies. You ain't seeing no mass. You ain't seeing nothing to delight your eye, you might articulate yourself a little bit, but after a while, it pales. But what I've observed too is that there's certain communities back to the Juve, where on a Juve morning, they have their own thing.
Yeah.
Mongdo have a thing by St. Paul's. I mean, those things are on another level. So in a sense, there's a self-segregation going on. Okay, in one main tongue, I just stay in my zone and do my thing.
Well,
So
Arima, Shagwana, Santander have
Brazil has one of the bigger Juves now, I heard.
And they're very enjoyable and they're very organic. So, I mean, I guess
and that's good. I like that about Tre and Tobago because it means the whole of Tre and Tobago is involved in the thing. It's not just Port of Spain centric. Yeah. So maybe we might go to El Paro or Brazil or something and check out their vibe.
We asked a question, I think, on Monday. Mm-hmm. Do you think Trinidad and Tobago is still, the carnival is still the greatest show on earth? So we're asking you the question today.
I think inherently our carnival is unique and special. It's not a show really. I mean, that's just a tagline that was used in the 60s by the advertising agency or the tourism agency at the time. But I like to use Super Blues tagline. He said carnival is a festival of festivals. I mean, there's so many layers and there's so many areas that are so specific. I mean, when you look at Pan is alive and kicking in a way that, we have to celebrate. Mm-hmm. The mass, is the domain of a particular sector of the society now. You still have certain elements of the traditional mass, the calypso, calypso, the music is very alive and vibrant. The soca, the commercial stuff, the calypso, I've been watching the calypso chants online, and it seems to me the domain of eccentrics, some strange offerings. But I still like to think that we have the elements that make our carnival still unique and special. It's how we manage it. And I think that's one of the challenges we face, because we're trying to manage something that we're not quite, we haven't taken the time to understand. Like when I say it's a ritual, a ritual is very difficult to sort of manage in a commercial sense. I mean, there are aspects of the carnival that we can commercialize and commodify and put on a good show and make sure the show runs efficiently and whatnot. But when people say, oh, that panorama show too long, panorama is not a show. There's all these communities coming down to give of themselves, give the best of themselves, represented by their people. If you block the people from coming through with them, you lose that community engagement, that sense of community pride. The big bacchanal in the North Stand, when I used to go in the North Stand, that was the space where if you're young and you just want to have a time and listen to Pan and line with your friends, you would block up the North Stand. Now I understand, based on recent arguments, the corporate community has bought big blocks of space, and there's a territorial kind of, this is my spot, and you can't come in my spot unless you have on my jersey with my branding and that kind of thing.
Isn't that crazy though? I just find that so crazy. And it was when I used to be in North Stand when we were much younger. You could go anywhere and eat a pilau over the side, drink a beer on that side. It was just this energy of unity. Now is this corporate section, is that corporate section, don't come by with food, this is we special bar. It's like, what?
I made a post,
a million flags that blocking your view, because it's like, how is that? Is that the evolution of it? That's what it is.
I made a post yesterday on Facebook that if you take the decision to go to the North Stand for Pan, you take what you get. Because North Stand has always been, to me, a place where people want to just go and free up.
But there was a time when the Pan was still the focal point. It was still, when the Pan played, you would give all your attention to the Pan. In between that, you'll have a time, you'll meet your friends, as Paul say, go over, so you get a pill album from this one, you take a wine on that side or whatever. But when it is now the domain, and this is my block, you can't come in here.
More said the answer is that the North Stand needs to be bigger. No, the North Stand doesn't need to be bigger. No. You need to just stop segregating the North Stand.
Yep.
The North Stand doesn't need to be bigger at all.
Yep. The segregation does not belong.
The segregation does not help the situation.
Yeah,
and I understand you want to, as the leader of as the Pan organization, make money, because that's part of what we've been asking for, become more self-sufficient and more independent. But is that the way to do it?
I don't think that's the way to do it.
No.
But it is what it is for now. And the more we speak on it, the more it might change or impact on it.
Well, we'll see what the good thing about this, Mrs. Ramsey Moore has displayed an ability to evolve and learn. You understand? So she may take the critiques that come this year, because I think by and large it has been a well-run panorama so far, you know. So we have to say the good with the bad, because I think she's done a tremendous job of reorganizing that organization to have it almost back to where it was when we thought it was a source of pride. So that really said, she's done a fantastic job, and maybe that decision was done for a particular purpose, and they may revisit it next year.
Hopefully.
You know,
because the amount of young people who are now playing pan, at least 75% of these pan sides are young people.
Yeah,
they want to be appreciated. You know what I mean?
I want to say, as you mentioned, the young people. I found my greatest joy so far has been the day the school panorama. It was like 2 Sundays ago.
Fantastic.
It was incredible. I mean, it was enough to put water in your eye and to give you hope and to see the enthusiasm of the young people, so much so that when they called in, they nearly knocked down the minister in rushing to get a prize, and because they were so excited. And that is what we need to harness and channel and keep alive, keep flowing.
And that is the message. The message is, if you give them opportunities to be productive, they will
claim it. Yeah.
They will.
Wendell, how come you never got into the management, the directorship aspect of Carnival in a bigger way? Because these boards need somebody like you, know. Huh?
They just kick me off their meetings and things.
I know by virtue of your name, you're naturally outspoken. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, like that. To be honest, you know, I always say you have to choose your area of where you're going to put your energy into. And we've been making Juve for 30 years, making music for 27 years, making a show for 20 years. And that's a lot of work. You know, I after the rehearsal last night, I say, fellas, I tired. I had to get up early in the morning and go on the radio. And, you know, it requires your focus. And we've been doing that. That's how we, coming out of Mincha Mass Camp, we made mass. I didn't develop a fet habit because I didn't have time to fet. I can look and read and process what's going on and comment on it, but I don't think my domain is in the management of the thing just yet. Maybe now that we freed ourselves up from the responsibility of doing a jury and I'm getting to my age that I am at, I could probably say, okay, now it's time to say, let me see if I could lend a hand here or there. But now I have enough to manage, and we have enough work on our hands. And we, you know, part of our work is working with a lot of young people. We have a virtual a school inside the big black box there, you know, teaching them all the aspects of the culture. Every time we explore a theme, we get in depth as to, you know, the history of the thing, the social resonance of the thing, and encourage people to take that with them so that they understand it's much more than just wildness and fun and jumping up and waving.
I can tell you something though, as a businessman and always looking for opportunities. If you wanted to continue, I would recommend that you go somewhere like Arima or Brazil or Talparo, and you will be a huge success. Trust me.
But I don't want to be one of them fellas coming from town and coming in the people village and mashing up their vibes, you know. So what I would rather do is link up with somebody in one of those zones and see, you know, how we could share ideas, exchange energies, and share resources. Because I think we have to be respectful of what is and understand that each community is distinct and special. I mean, coming out of Belmont, you come from St. James, you understand the importance of what community is, you know. Every time I drive through Mount Lambert, I've spent many years in Mount Lambert. My grandfather lived there. I have an aunt still living there. You know, you feel a sense of a belonging to a space and a connection to a space. So I think we have to really spend a lot of time in reviving our community spirit. I think one of the things that we need to examine is community spirit. And I say PAN is one of the sort of things, bullseyes within every community. There's a PAN yard, and we could use that to sort of like bring a sense of, hey, this is my zone, this is my community, and we're all looking out for each other in that area.
But here how I look at it, Wendell, because Point Fortin Borody is something that I used to attend regularly. Point Fortin Borody without All Stars is no Borody. Trust me.
Yeah.
The people of Point looked forward to All Stars coming on there, and literally crowds of people. So I'm just thinking of the Blue Devils going to these communities and building it and making it attractive to everybody else.
So maybe it's
That's
something
how
we
I
could
look at it.
explore because we've been doing it in town for so long. I really don't. I only hear of these other places, but it
Yeah.
might be good to just explore and see what the regional carnival is like.
Yeah, sure.
I want to go down
I think
Gasparilla and see the bad behavior sailors who just jump up and pile up on one another and think they don't see that in town.
yeah, no, you don't see that in town. You're right.
I
These
think
guys with the whips, they're coming from Talparo.
Yeah,
They are big feet here when they come down here.
yeah.
You know?
I refuse to let you and your colleagues in Tre Canal just leave creating visual presentations, and I implore you to evolve it into maybe a Monday mass with many of the themes that you could explore, because a lot of what I have liked about what you do is that it's not superficial. It is always message and history filled, and I think that is needed. I think because of the amount of knowledge you have and your friends and colleagues, it is impossible for you to just let that stay dormant. I know
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
continuing, but I mean, in terms of the visual presentations, I think it's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
important, more than ever now, for somebody with your experience and knowledge to create some sort of visual outlet.
I hear
to
you, and
connect.
then, I mean, all these things are under consideration. But for now, we're firmly committed to the idea that 30 years, we say this is the last hurrah, the end of a long chapter, and we're giving thanks for all the lessons that we learned and all the blessings that we earned. We pay respects to all the people that were part of the vibration and are no longer here with us. Like Shell Shock and Myron Ali and Tony Hall and Brother Resistance and Andre Tanker. They all played a big part. Graham Wilson. I mean, we can't thank Graham enough for giving
Yeah.
us, the guidance. That song, when we went in, the song had 16 bars in one verse and 14 bars in the next, and he's like, "I well, you gotta get this thing in a gear, fix it." We've learned a lot, and we've also tried to impart a lot over the years. So yeah, I hear what you're saying. I mean, and the carnival is still very special to all of us.
Yes.
We still feel very, very, very strongly about this festival that we have and how unique and special it is. And we would like to ensure that it remains so. I always encourage young people to understand that if you're getting involved in this thing, take time to understand what came before you and understand that this thing is going to outlive you or last you. We're just here for the moment. So whatever we're doing now has the power to affect it positively or negatively, and choose wisely.
We want to open the phone lines because several of the people on chat are eager to ask you questions and comment. But we also want to talk about your show, because you have
Yeah. We have a show coming up.
You have another show coming up at Queen Soul. So let's hear about it. And this is not going to be the last show, and you're not going to stop making music, just to say that.
No. That's not
That's not the
what
plan.
we're about. That's not the plan. This show is called the Tre Canal Jamming Show, and it speaks to the idea of jamming steady, jamming over the years.
You know what jamming
Even-
means these days to young people, right?
I could only imagine now that you say it in that tone.
Well, I want to ask. I don't know.
All right.
The Tre Canal Jamming Show. So we're coming down at Queen Soul. We're back at Queen Soul for 2 nights, Sunday 4th and Monday 5th, 8 p.m. sharp both nights. We invited people to wear white, reach for your pearls. It's our pearl anniversary. Powder your chest like a sailor, powder your face if you feel like, and come down. And it's us, our crew, the Black Box crew. We have about 16 dancers. We have backup singers. They call them themselves the Drains or the Drainettes or something like that. We have a live band, and we also have 2 special guests, Rayon Elbon and the man called K-Shav. So, and the tickets are only $350 and $450 special reserve available at the Queen Soul box office and on islandetickets.com or at the Big Black Box from 1 p.m. till we're there rehearsing every night.
So this is this coming Sunday and Monday?
This Sunday and Monday, yeah.
Okay, and showtime?
Showtime 8 p.m. both nights.
Both nights.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Okay.
We have some calls coming through, Wendell. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning. Happy Carnival, as always will say. Morning, Mr. Wendell.
Good morning.
Yeah. Well, I always view Tre Canal as part of the the how to say, it's part of Carnival, but how Tre Canal there's no Carnival. Anyway, congratulations on your past 30 years.
Thank you.
You are rep, and thanks for all your knowledge and your contribution and everything, and coming to Queen's Hall. You know who talking to you?
I figure it's Wesley. Make out your voice there.
All right, thank you. 222-8255 and 62 power option 5 to get directly into our studio. All right.
Wendell, a lot of people don't know too that 75% of these ads of all types of events is actually your voice.
Yeah, I do a lot of voice work. Yeah. Actually, funny thing is people might see me and kind of glance at me, but when I speak, a lot of people say, I recognize you. I recognize you from your voice.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful for able to have that little sideline over the years. I've been doing it a long time, doing it even before Tre Canal. So
yeah, long time. All right, so let's take some of your calls. Anything you want to add about your show there, Wendell?
Well, one of the things that we're bringing across in the show, I forgot to say that we have two actors, Arnold Going Down, Finney, and Marvin Dowridge. They're both members of the National Theatre Arts Company, but they've also been working with us for a long time. And they're telling the history of SS Bad Behavior, that band that started out of Helyard in the World War, after the Second World War. And it was really the evolution of the sailor to the form that we know it now, where they were parodying the American sailors who were in town at that time. And I just finished reading a book about Boise Singh. And the author says that the society was severely impacted by the American invasion. And he said he used the word invasion deliberately. And I think that's a chapter of our history that we don't really pay much attention to. How when all these tens of thousands of sailors were here up in Wallerfield and Chagaramas and down in Ryson Road and wherever they were based, what they did to amuse themselves or to fill their time had a serious impact on the society. I mean, Sparrow documented it in his song Gene and Dinah. It's there in Rum and Coca-Cola, both mother and daughter working for the Yankee dollar. What does it mean? What did it mean in reality and how it changes society? So we take a look at the evolution of the sailor form by looking at when the Americans were here during the Second World War and parallel that now in a time of war, and how are we responding to that? Are we making a mass on these things? Are we singing songs on these things? Are we commenting on these things? So it has some social commentary in it, it has some history in it, and it has plenty humor.
Sexy San Fernando says, I remember your voice like Nigel Scott back in the day.
Yeah, Nigel Scott was one of my heroes.
Yeah. We have a call. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you going?
Hey, Cindy. We're going good, man.
Good morning.
All right. Yeah, good morning. I just want to inform people that you see Carrie Chima just about a week before Carnival. They just have a traditional Carnival show and you just see all the beautiful traditional mass. Really nice to take your children to. It's been the night because they have the Calypso show the same night. You've seen all the jab, the whip masters, the baby doll, the bats, the Blue Devils. It has been real nice in Chima. Really, really excellent show. And it's so fascinating to see all the different characters.
And when is that happening? Next week?
They usually keep it like about the Friday, the week before Carnival, Sunday. They will keep it the Friday. It is really nice. I'm just going to get some more information from the guy when they're having it again, because I used to carry them boys and them long time before they turn adults to watch the show and to participate in the Calypso competition. But it is really, really good. Real good.
All right, Cindy, thank you.
Nice.
Thank you, Cindy.
Have a good day, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Of course, Tre Canal is calling it. Paul, we're not hearing you.
Paul, you're muted.
So the show is coming up this Sunday and Monday. Where can people register for the band, the final band?
You can register online, islandetickets.com, or you could actually come down to the Big Black Box again from 1 p.m. every day. We'll be there taking your registrations and organizing you. I mean, right now the camp very busy getting all the things inside. We have rail powder piling up. Paint should be coming in just now.
Did you all imagine it would evolve into this when you started?
No way, no way. Honestly, no way. I mean, even just as you say, we when we called you in and listened, a couple of us to listen to the song, we had no idea that the song was going to be, accepted, much less it turned out to be as popular as it was.
What song is that?
Blue.
Blue.
Oh.
I mean, and we saying that song turned the whole world upside down, but I would say that song literally turned our whole world upside down and changed our lives forever. After that, we had to pack our bags and we were on the road for like 5 years steady.
It's almost like prophecy because the song starts off 10,000 Blue Devils coming down. That's exactly what happened.
And they came down. it was exactly what happened. You gotta be careful what you ask for. You just might get it.
Ask for what you put in the universe, because it was an extraordinary experience. I mean, do you all have videos of that, or I know you have pictures, but do you have videos?
Well, it's not like today where everybody have a phone camera and whatnot. There's no video. It's just in our minds.
Isn't that amazing that you can't? It's unthinkable that you will not have a video now, eh?
Yeah. There's no. We have a few pictures, but I've never seen a moving image of the band that morning. It's just memory and people sharing their stories, really, which is how a lot of the carnival, was validated. It was people saying, "Boy, that band was the biggest band in town. You never seen nothing so in my life," and the story would perpetuate, and that
like a legend now.
Exactly.
And I guess you're right. That's what prompted so many people to get to realize this Juve thing is money, boy. Because them fellas make $1 million.
I know we were given the opportunity to cut on board with Juve in July at its inception, and we graciously declined. We said no, Juve is a ritual. And somebody seen me the other day say, "See you could have been a millionaire all now if you had only joined up with the thing."
If that is your motivation.
Exactly. No regrets. No regrets. We holding fast to the tradition.
Yeah.
Your
response, Wendell, to that issue of Juve and your passion for it and what it means reminds me of when who was the artist who tried to do a rum called Juve?
Oh yeah. Michael
B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan. Yes. That passion, that say no, you can't use that word just like that. Yeah, I agree with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was over before it even start.
I find the objection was dotishness.
I think the objection was I think people were just stunned, just shocked that somebody would have the gumption to take up Juve and use it in that way. I mean,
I don't know what it's like, as if we own the word Juve, do we?
No, we don't.
Exactly.
We don't. As a matter of fact, we don't own the carnival. The carnival is not ours. Our carnival is specific, Trinidad Carnival, and that's what we need to guard and protect. But carnival is universal.
Cause as usual. They're just looking for a cause.
I think it was a reaction. It was an emotional reaction, I think the emotional reaction was so strong. Well, sometimes emotional is irrational.
For a rum.
I don't think it was just the fact that it was for a rum. I think the fact that, well, when I saw the rollout of the rum, the setting, it was in the Hamptons or something. So, I mean, you can't get more removed from a Juve sensation than being in the Hamptons, can you?
I just think much ado about nothing. Anyway, Wendell, thank you for being with us this morning.
Yeah, anything you want to add before
thank
you leave?
Thank you for the years of contribution. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. No, I'm just very happy to be here this morning and to share our story and to let people know that, it is with gratitude and humility that we say this is the last hurrah. And this is not the end of the musical vibration and making shows. And I take some of your points and maybe an opportunity to explore other things. I mean, for a long time, people have been asking us to bring our mass. But after my mental experience, I'm on the mass. We will see. I mean, the carnival is an ever-changing thing.
And you trained at the Mincho, so I mean, you have everything you need.
Yeah, that's probably the problem. There's some residual trauma there.
Like we had a follow-up interview, boy.
Thank you so much, everybody. Happy Carnival.
Take care of yourselves, man.
Thank you so much, Wendell Manmore. We'll chat soon. All the best to you and the guys.
So the shows are coming up on Sunday and Monday.
Sunday and Monday.
At Queen's Hall, 8 p.m. You can get tickets, Island e-tickets. Is that what it is, right?
And Queen's Hall box office.
And Queen's Hall box office. All right.
Bless.
And it's at Queen's Hall. Yeah. Thank you, Wendell. All the best here.
Yes. All right, folks. It's 8 o'clock. I know why, because my fan went off. My fan goes on at 6 and stays for 2 hours. So have a wonderful day, people, and remember to let go and let God. If you're interested, come down to Stick Fighting tonight, Diego Martin Regional Complex. It should be interesting. It'll be my first time. And
have a great day.
First times are always interesting times. Bye-bye.
Not always, huh? Sometimes it's traumatic.
That's all right, but interesting nonetheless.
Have a great day. Be safe.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you. Talking to you guys. Bye today. Come tomorrow morning.